Hi there, today I'm making liver and bacon. I'll just run through the ingredients and the cooking process, and then after that actually go ahead and do it. So what we need is liver. The best one to get is the lamb's liver, because that seems to be the most tender. And bacon. You need to be a bit careful with the bacon because it varies so much in saltiness. So it's best to leave salting or seasoning the liver and bacon until after you've found out how salty the bacon is that you're using. I'm actually using my own beef stock, homemade beef stock, or you can use a beef cube. Obviously an onion, and just for interest I'm putting in a couple of mushrooms. With regards to seasoning, I'm putting in a couple of bay leaves, and I'll chop up some sage and a bit of rosemary, and that should do it. Now, because they cook at different paces, I'll just saute the onion first, then I'll set that aside, but then I'll do the bacon, again set it aside after I've taken the rind off. And with the lamb fries, it needs to be, I think the secret of doing the lamb fry is to have the heat quite high. So if you do it slowly, it tends to go quite tough and chewy. But if you fast fry it, then you tend to have quite a nice soft and delicate texture to it. And this will be, first of all, seasoned in some, sort of rolled in some seasoned flour, and also cut into fairly regular thin strips, and just do a few at a time in a fairly heavy bottom pan, so you get good heat distribution. So okay, I'll start off with doing the onion, and whilst that's sautéing I'll prepare the lamb fries. Okay, back soon. That's the onions chopped up. I'll just put them into the fry pan with the oil in it, and it's just on a fairly medium to a low heat, and they just can stay in the pan until they're transparent. And once they're transparent, I'll take them out of the pan, put them aside, and start to cook the bacon. Right, that's the onions pretty much done. As you can see they're fairly transparent, and I want to get them out of there before they start burning, so I'll just put them to one side into a pan, and then I can use the same pan to fry the bacon. Now, the reason why I'm frying the bacon is it's easier to take the rind off when it's cooked or partly cooked, and then I can also cut it up into better sized pieces. So while that's happening with the bacon, I'll start preparing the lamb's fry, and it's suggested first that you wash it and then just dry it. I'll just take it out of the packet, rinse it under the tap, just on it. If any of these parts can be a bit hard, so they can be removed, so I'll just cut that off. Okay. That seems to be okay. And what I want to do now is to cut it into fairly similar sized slivers. So they will shrink, but so I'll just cut it across like that. Same with that one. So it should be fairly easy to cut. And take a very large bowl, put some flour in. A flat bowl's best. Take the flour, put some flour in. That's the flour I'm using. It's all the plain white flour. Put that into the bowl. So I'll move that out of the way. Put in some salt, just seasoned flour. Let's just put some salt in. Put in some pepper. And I'm just using ground white pepper. Give it a bit of a mix. And then put the liver into the flour and try and get the liver coated with the flour. So this matter of moving the flour about. So basically what happens is when the liver's being cooked, the juices that come out will be absorbed by the flour. And also when putting the liver into the gravy or stock, it will have some effect on thickening the stock. Now, although there's flour left over, just leave that aside, because you might want to use that flour to thicken the stock if it comes out a bit thin after it's cooking. So we'll see how it goes. So I've taken the bacon out of the fry pan and I'm just cutting it up and putting it into the side dish before I assemble the whole thing. So it's just an easier way to get the bacon off when it's cooked. Gets the rind off the bacon, sorry, when it's cooked. And then that rind will go out in the bird feeder probably. Right. So that's that. So I've now got this at a fairly high heat. Just add in a bit more oil. And what I'm going to try and do is to, I don't know if the word's flash fry, whatever they might be, the liver. So the key is to just fry it quickly once it's been seasoned. And don't put it in all at once because it brings down the temperature of the oil. So that looks quite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that should do it. Just let that cook. And it doesn't have to be cooked right through, because what's going to happen after this is done is we put into a bowl and put in the oven. And I'll switch the oven on now I did about 170, and it'll be for about 45 minutes to an hour. The ingredients don't have to be exact, so it's just as much onion, liver, bacon as you feel like cooking. So you see it's I'm just cooking it both sides. And once that's done, I can then move that aside to the rest of the bacon, the rest of the liver, and then it's ready to be assembled. I'm just flash frying the second batch of liver. That's pretty much done. Just return. And I think I can put that aside now. I'll put that onto there. Now I'm not going to pre-cook the mushrooms, I'll just put those straight in. And mushrooms are optional too. So if you find a pan or a bowl of the right size, take all the ingredients. That should do it, I think. So, here we go. So let's put in the liver and bacon and onions. Mixed up a bit. And the onions, the mushrooms I've got in here. And they should be alright. I'll just coarsely chop them. Them in. Some sage I've cut up. A couple of bay leaves. A little bit of rosemary. Again, this isn't optional. And so I won't put any salt in. Because A, there's salt on the seasoning, and there might be quite a bit of salt in the bacon, so it's best to let it cook first, but I'll put a bit more pepper in. There we go. And last but not least, beef stock. And that's come out of the freezer, so it's quite cold. So the rest of that will be for French onion soup, probably. I'll give that a bit of a mix up, a bit of a stir. And that can go into the oven I said about 160, 170 for maybe about 45 minutes. So set the timer and then we'll come back and see what it's like. That's been cooking about 40 minutes. Put a bit more light on the subject, and as you can see it's fairly well cooked. The gravy might be a bit thin. Ouch, hot. So what I'll do, I'll just add in some flour just to thicken it up a bit. So I'll take some of the flour from what we used before. Just about enough, not too much. Dissolve it. And then just mix that through. And I'll put that back in the oven just to get the flour to cook and thicken up the gravy a bit. Right, so just finished. It's 50 minutes or so in the oven, and that's what it should look like. It's probably the point we might need just to taste it and adjust the seasoning, whatever you like. Don't forget to take out the bay leaves, and bon appetit.